Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Umineko When They Cry, episode 5. So last time we learned of Natsuhi's crime of 19 years ago, right? That is pretty cool. So it is the second day now, October 5th, and it's gonna begin, right? Lambda Delta said, prepare yourself because it's time. So let's continue. Letting out a deep sigh, I stumbled to my feet. With the shutters down on the windows, there was almost no light getting in, and the room was as dim as it had been earlier. Though even without the shutters, there's no way this dull weather will let in enough sun to make this a pleasant morning. The cousins were still wrapped up in their beds, sound asleep and taking no notice whatsoever of that beeping. Normally, once any person or one person gets up, the others tend to automatically follow. Annoyed that this law of serial summer camp awakenings that I'd made up had been broken, I searched for the source of the sound. I could hear it coming from a wristwatch set on a table. Judging by the style of the watch, it was probably George Aniki's. Anyway, when I randomly pushed a small button on the side of it, the sound stopped. Apparently it had been set for 7 AM in the morning. It's already 7 AM? Sorry, but I don't really feel like I slept at all. I mean, he was awake until 3 AM, right? Playing cards were left on the table as though they had stopped mid-game. The game had probably been sevens. Damn it, I've got this piercing headache. What the hell happened last night? The mountain of gold and the subsequent argument between the relatives all feel like a bad dream. Breakfast normally came at 8 AM. Now it wasn't a bad time to start getting up and getting dressed. Even those adults probably won't argue in front of the cousins. In that case, I'll stay with my cousins all day long. I'm sure they'll be able to separate me from all this annoying talk about the gold and being the successor and all. In fact, I should have done this from the beginning. I felt disgusting having slept with my clothes on last night, which caused me to get all sweaty. I guess I'll take a shower. I'm sure the others want to as well. At this age, it's embarrassing to wake them up by shaking their shoulders. If I turn the TV on, everyone will probably wake up. Well, let's at least turn the lights on for now. In this dim light with the quiet sound of the never-ending wind and rain, it really doesn't feel like morning has come yet. I flipped the light switch, and then that dimly lit morning ended. Jesus. What is this? Okay. That was kind of scary. Oh!
Georgie!
Why, are you serious? They were already dead. Oh my god. Why, Butter didn't even notice that there was blood there? Oh my god. Has this happened though? I mean, I guess this has happened once, right? No, when Ava was still alive and then George was dead. Yeah, but I think this is the first time for Hideyoshi though, seeing his George like this. As they clung to Aniki's corpse, which would never wake up again, Aunt Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi cried. Was it only George or everyone?
Aneki, 気持ちはわかるが、今は南條先生に任せるんだ。
あんたにはわかんないわよ。
Damn, this is the first time I see Ava like this. No, I mean, the sprite crying like this.
ジョージが殺されたのよ。
Have you seen this before?
ジョージ！ジョージ！
南條先生の言う通りや。ジョージのこんな無体な姿をいつまでも見ていたらあかん。ジョージのためにも今は耐えるんや。
When Aunt Ava cried, or cried even harder to cling to that corpse, Dad and Uncle Hideyoshi dragged her away and had a heated debate with her beside the wall.
いやよ、いやー、ジョージー、南條先生、手当てをして、血が足りないなら輸血を。私とジョージは同じ血液型です。だからお願い、南條先
エヴァさん、お気の毒だが今のジョージ君に必要なのはあなたの血ではないのです。
Dr. Nanjo shook his head slightly, then nodded across to where I stood, giving me a signal. I softly pulled the blanket up, covering George Aniki's corpse. His neck was split wide open. It was probably larger and deeper than his mouth. Oh my god. Would covering that part up make the corpse look neat and clean? Of course not. The large amount of lost blood stained the bed a horrible red and black, and even covering him with the blanket couldn't hide the traces. After all, even the blanket had large black stains. And covering him with it made his corpse look even more gruesome. Actually, I don't remember who died though, but yeah, I think Genji died. Who else? I forgot the other ones. I think Maria and Rosa, right? Did Jessica die already? I don't remember. So I stripped the blanket off my bed and placed it on top of the first one. No, because they showed us who died, right? After in the beginning of episode 5. Yes, I just don't remember who. I kind of forgot, but there were only 2 extra blankets. So if we covered one more of the corpses, we wouldn't be able to cover any more. I feel bad about the ones we can't cover. But for some reason, times like these make me feel like muttering, "Don't complain about it being unfair" inside my head.
キリエ、みんなに毛布をかけてやれ。風邪をひいちまう。
ええ。
Kirie-san and I started covering the other corpses up to their heads with blankets just like George Aniki, so that they wouldn't have to undergo any more shame with their terrible wounds exposed like this. Is it shown now here again? Not yet. Okay. Kind of sad though, because they really had little screen time, I guess, right, this time. First time in the answer arcs, and then very, very small screen time for George, I guess, Jessica, and one bit rested Jessica. Jessica was exactly the same as George Aniki, though she appeared to be resting quietly in bed. Her neck had been sliced deep and the wound lay open in a brutal way. Maria was the same. And not only Maria, there was one more victim. It's Rosa, right? Lying on the same bed as though they'd been sleeping alongside each other was Aunt Rosa. George, Aniki, Jessica, Maria, and Rosa. Okay, so it updated now. So these 4, and then Genji was one more. Who was the last one? I don't remember. Yes. Maria. Number 5. Who was the last one? In this room were 4 humans who had been killed, their necks sliced open. They'd probably been like this since last night. I mean, they were sleeping. Most likely, yeah. I'd returned without noticing anything, gotten in bed and fallen asleep. All of them had a horizontal cut across their throat. I had been forced to see all the way into the depths of those gashes in everyone's throats. At worst, the wounds might have been deep enough to stretch halfway through their necks. If you tried to open it up, you'd probably be able to see the gash reach all the way to the bone. Come on, man. The only wounds were the single gashes on each neck. So if you just covered their necks with your hand, you might be able to persuade yourself that they were merely sleeping. But even so, this frighteningly deep wound was incredibly gruesome. There's no such thing as a clean or dirty ways of killing. All methods of killing are equally brutal. But even so, the brutality here was just horrific. And there was one more thing that adorned these brutal murders, making them even more unsettling. Drawn very large on the wall was something like an eerie magic circle. It was drawn in a bright red paint that looked like blood, and it made it look as though some creepy ceremony had taken place in this room, with the four of them offered as human sacrifices. However, that wasn't what we were concerned about. No one has the heart so cold that they could witness the deaths of those close to them and still worry about some scribbles on the wall. Where's Natsui and Kraus? The detective is here.
おはようございます、皆さん。おや、これは立派な魔法陣で。
The girl who bragged that she drew more pleasure from the process of exposing the truth than the truth itself, and who went so far as to call herself an intellectual, yes, appeared in the hall. When she saw the extraordinarily creepy magic circle in this gruesome room, I heard what was unmistakably a high sigh of admiration escape her lips.
お前は入ってくるんじゃね
え。さっきから廊下で話を聞かせてもらっています。お亡くなりになられたのは4人ですか？心よりお悔やみを申し上げます。
On Erica's face, no, that's not it. It was in her eyes. In Erica's eyes, I could see an indiscreet smile that was hard to describe. She found this interesting. She found the outbreak of a crime interesting. It was like the smile of a kid off to the side of the stage just before her turn to appear in the school play.
すまねえな、エリカちゃん。取り込み中だ。部屋で待っててくれるか？
そういうわけには参りません。現場検証は探偵の権利ですので。
お前に用はないと言ってんだぜ。部外者はおとなしく引っ込んでろ。
現場検証を妨害する容疑者が犯人であるミステリーは三流というのが私の持論ですが。
お前の都合など知るか！出て行け！お前なんかお呼びじゃね
エリカちゃん、ほんまにすまんが部屋に戻っててくれんか？今は取り込み中なんや。
ジョージジョージどいてください。現場検証できません。
もしそれが必要なら俺たちがするし、警察がする。お前にみんなの亡骸をさらに恥ずかしめる権利なんかあるわけがねえ。
探偵権限。
Detective's authority.
探偵は全ての現場を検証する権利を持つ。そこをどきなさい、後宮バトラー。これは人間側に認められた ゲームの正当な権利よ。
Okay. Those words, which seemed to be utterly ridiculous at first, were words of power that had come from a world on a much higher plane than the one that they were in. Yeah, kind of true though, right? Because it's not the meta world. Let's say back then it was always the meta world, Butler and Beatrice, right? What? Butler was thrown aback by an unseen power and landed on his butt. And now it's this. It's the game board Butler and Erica. Basically the piece Butler.
ご安心を。死者の尊厳を侵すことが目的ではありませんので。別に喉の切り口なんておぞましいもの覗きたくありませんし、私が知りたいのはもっと別のことです。つまりこの殺人を誰が行ったかです。南條先生、それから皆さん、特に第一発見者のバトラさん、いろいろとお尋ねしたいことがありますのでご協力をお願いします。
だから何の権限があってだよ。
私が探偵だからよ。
Butler couldn't argue against this incomprehensible nonsense. No, he wasn't permitted to argue. It was a restriction placed on pieces. Erica summoned Dr. Nanjo and heard the details of his preliminary examination of the corpses. Normally, he wouldn't have spoken of that to an outsider so casually. However, for some reason, the atmosphere about the place had become one in which hiding things from Erica was forbidden.
さて、ラムダの第一の晩、楽しませてもらおうかしら。死体は4つ？2つ足りないわ。まあ、6人殺す義務もないわけだけど、そういう遊びだしね。あの子、空気読める子だから、あと2人もどこかで殺してるに違いないわ。
On the wall was a magic circle representing the first twilight, similar to the ones in Beato's games. That girl talks tough, but I wonder just how closely she'll be able to imitate Beato. Giggle. That Hebrew sure is crappy. It isn't written exactly right.
何これ？どういうこと？どうして魔法陣が？きっとベアトリーチェ様の真似がしたかったのよ。
Mamones Modis.
へったくそな魔法陣。
真似どころじゃないわよ。人間の誰かがベアトリーチェ様の仕業に見せかけるためにわざわざ書いたんだわ。
Some human went out of their way to draw that.
とにかくベアトリーチェ様に報告を。
ゴールドスミスの秘密を守る仕事だけでもお腹いっぱいなのに迷惑な話ね。でも全然美しくない殺人だわ。別に密室でもないし不可能犯罪でもない。こんな無様な殺人ベアトリーチェ様に全然ふさわしくないわ。
フルドエリカか。予期せぬ事件に予期せぬ女。そして19年前の予期せぬ男。碑文はバトラーに解かれるし、今回のゲームは普段とまるで違うわ。何がどうなってるの？
What is that? And if you add in the fact that Butler's already solved the epitaph, this game is completely different from normal. What the heck is going on?
行くわよ。
はい。おね
Okay. But yeah, it's kind of brutal though. I want to see Natsuhi. Where's her reaction to Jessica? In the kitchen, Goda was preparing a wonderful breakfast at a brisk pace. Goda's just being happy, man. This dude. Honestly, I feel sad for the guy. I mean, yes, he's treating Shannon and Kanon badly, right? But other than that, yeah, he just wanted to be like this. He just wanted to be noticed. And he got caught up in what happened in Rokenjima. So sad. The main dish would be herb omelets. Even simple foods, it could become an invigorating feast under Goda's skillful hands. He would pre-cook everything beforehand and prepare the food in the dining hall right before everyone's eyes. Now, like, what I mean is, for the servants, he's not really trusted, right? Because yeah, when you see, especially for Kinzo's part, right? He's the only servant that is not included there. The others are included, except him.
Pam 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 pam.
So yeah, he doesn't really know anything is what I'm saying. Goda hummed as he continued to work in his high spirits. When Shannon, who was helping out, saw Goda like this, her mood also brightened. She arranged the salad in a neat little pattern and showed it to Goda.
こんな感じでどうでしょう。トマトの感じがちょっと可愛くなったと思います。
実に良いですよ。シャノンさんもなかなか分かってまいりましたね。
This scene, man. There are already people that died, and they're showing us a very nice scene between them. The two happy people gave each other a high five. Shannon didn't like Goda when he was sneaky, but she had no problems at all with him when he was cooking happily. She sometimes even thought it'd be nice if his contract hadn't included any jobs besides cooking. If that had been the case, he wouldn't have had to get in a bad mood doing unnecessary jobs.
食堂の準備ができましたよ。いつでも運べますからね。
もうじきですので、配膳車の準備をお願いします。
Without thinking, even Kumasawa caught Goda's high spirits. The kitchen had a very nice smell and atmosphere about it, truly refreshing so early in the morning. Then Kanon came back grumpy even this early in the morning, just like he always was. Kanon and Genji were in charge of getting many things ready for the morning, such as opening the curtains. However, Kanon was alone today, so it had taken much more longer than usual.
終わったよ。源氏様は？
まだいらっしゃらないの。珍しいわね。寝坊されるなんて。
あの源氏さんでもお寝坊をね。
親族会議の最中だというのに緊張感に欠けてますね。カノンさん、起こしてきてあげてくれませんか？
Genji, he's gone.
はい。
寝ぼけ眼の源氏さんってどんな顔なのかしら。私もご一緒しますよ。
Even though Goda had asked her to get the serving cart ready, Kumasawa plodded off after Kanon, slyly skipping work. As Kanon muttered about how Goda was the one who slept in all the time, he headed for the servant waiting room.
カノンさんは今朝起こさなかったんですか？
僕は昨夜使用人室でそのまま寝ちゃったんで控え室には戻ってないんです。
Last night, Connor had dozed off while in the middle of his late night shift. Falling asleep in the servant room, Shannon had been kind enough to put a blanket on him. But that had just made it so warm that he fell into an even deeper sleep. So he hadn't returned to his bed in the servant waiting room of the previous night. Because of that, he hadn't met Genji even once this morning. Okay.
源氏様、カノンです。おはようございます。
あらあら、まだお休みかしら。
失礼します。
When he tried to open the door, Connor noticed something strange on the upper part of it. Ooh, what is that? What's that packing tape? What does it mean? Or what does it say, I mean? A small strip of packing tape was stuck along the frame of the door, almost as though it was sealing the door shut. Furthermore, there were no notches made with scissors along the center of the packing tape, so that if he opened the door only a slight amount, it would be torn apart. Also written sloppily across the packing tape with a thin pen was what appeared to be someone's signature. It kind of seems like Burn Castle? Kinda looks like that though. It was written in a very decorative manner, so even if it was a signature, there was no way of telling whose it was. Yeah, it kind of says Burn Castle, no. What is in the middle?
誰かのいたずらでしょうか。
わからないけど、こんなの今は気にしててもしょうがない。源氏様、失礼します。
It wasn't as though anything happened when it split, so the two quickly forgot about that strange tape. The room, I mean, was dimly lit. The lower bed of the two-level bunk bed still had a lump under the blanket. Apparently Genji was still sleeping.
おはようございます、源氏様。
源氏さんらしくもない。朝でございますよ。
源氏様。
なんですかこれは。なんですかこれは。
There was a large red-black stain on the blanket. Even a servant's blankets were always kept clean. But yeah, I wouldn't trust this scene though, honestly, because who's here? It's Kumasawa and it's Kanon. And they're the ones looking at Genji, right? Yeah, do not trust this scene. The others maybe, but this one, I don't know. Kanon hesitantly peeled back Genji's blanket, saw what was left of him, and was shocked into silence.
何よこれ。首がすっぱりやられてる。
鋭利だ。相当の刃渡りのものでなければここまでの切り口にはできまい。
どういうことよ。碑文の謎をバトラが解いたんでしょ。どうして殺人が起こるわけ。
わからん。いずれにせよ厄介なことになるぞ。ベアトリーチェ様とナツキ様にご報告申し上げた方がいい。
ベルフェは急いでルシネーに報告を。
心得た。
Then this new pair let out screams identical to the first two.
ちょっとゴーダ、朝食の準備をサボっちゃダ
Don't stop making breakfast, Goda.
そんなこと言ってる場合じゃないでしょ。2日目の朝食は決して静かに取れやしないってわけだわ。嫌な予感がする。源氏だけで済まないかもしれない。屋敷内を確認するわよ。他にも何か起こっているかもしれない。はい、
お姉様。
I mean, for here, you could say that maybe Genji, I mean Goda could have been an accomplice as well, right? Maybe could have been given money or offered money in this situation. I mean, so that's why. Yeah, I'm not gonna trust that scene that Genji might be dead. Who knows, right? Maybe he's just gonna be. Yeah, okay. Natsuki sprang awake at the sudden sound of the phone. Even Natsuki was surprised that she'd woken up. She thought she'd spent the whole night unable to sleep out of fear that the mysterious man might come in at any moment. But she dozed off before she knew it. Of course, Natsuki still didn't feel rested. Though she groaned from the dull pain in her head, which hadn't gone away or on since last night, she managed to get out of bed.
おはようございます、夏日様。おはよう。
Come on, man. Why is there a scene like this? Natsui talking to one of the stakes.
最悪の朝です。ご安心を。誰も部屋へ立ち入ろうとはしませんでした。そう。
Like this is how they make this story confusing. Like, look at this, Natsuhi with Lucifer. Oh, was her name Lucifer? Right? Even so, that didn't mean she'd been able to sleep peacefully. The continued ringing of the phone made her headache throb even more strongly.
電話にお出になられた方がよろしいかと。
Yeah, it's Lucifer.
あと、良くないご報告が妹たちから。良くない報告は後にしましょう。先に電話を取ります。
Natsui shook her head to wake herself and picked up the receiver. Then she regretted not listening to Lucifer's bad news first, because she wanted the first thing she heard on this horrible morning to be something better than this.
おはよう、母さん。よく眠れた？
That voice told her that this horrible morning, I mean, this nightmare would not stop.
約束は守りましたよ。私はずっと部屋にこもっていました。もちろん電話もしていません。
でも、この電話には出ちゃったよね。
それは。
冗談だよ。この電話は母さん思いの僕からのモーニングコールさ。おはよう、母さん。
人はどれだけ苦労すれば。
Natsui gripped the receiver so hard it creaked.
パーティーの準備のために母さんには席を外してほしかったのさ。おかげで準備は整ったよ。もちろん主賓は母さんさ。
何を始めるつもりですか？
それは今日のお楽しみかな。大丈夫、待たせないよ。もう始まってる。そうだ、ちょっと待って。声を聞かせたい人がいる。
There's someone I want you to hear. Ooh. There was a sound of the receiver being jolted around. The phone was apparently being passed to someone else, but there was a clunking, clattering noise, as though it was taking a lot of effort to hand the receiver over. Who in the world could he be giving the phone to? No matter who this man gives the phone to, that can't be good news for me. Oh! Kraus. This dude get taken?
あなたなの？
あなた。It was without a doubt the voice of her husband. However, he didn't respond to Natsuhi's voice. Perhaps he was bound somewhere in the darkness.
あんたの夫はここにいる。目も耳も塞いでるからね。話はできないけど。無事なのは分かってもらえたと思う。
何が目的ですか？夫を解放して。
明日には解放するよ。二つ約束を守ってくれればね。
何ですか？
一つはあんたの夫を僕が預かっていることを秘密にすること。
One is that you keep it a secret that I have your husband in my care. Okay.
屋敷ではそのうちクラウスの姿が見えないと騒ぎになるだろうけれど、母さんは何も知らないから何も口出しできない。わかるね？
わかります。もう一つの条件は？
ちょっとしたゲームだ。今日の昼の1時になったら屋敷の1階の一番手前の客室に入り、クローゼットの中に隠れているんだ。
客室？どうして私がクローゼットの中などに？
ちょっとしたかくれんぼだよ。
Hide and seek.
誰にも見つからずにそこで1時間隠れていることができたら母さんの勝ち。もし誰かに見つかったら母さんの負け。
I like how this guy means just calling Natsui Kaa-san. Mother, yeah, mom.
負けたらどうだというのですか？
別に何もないよ。遊びってそういうもんでしょ。
Nah, you're probably...
このかくれんぼに付き合ってくれたら明日には夫を解放するよ。
Tomorrow? Is there a tomorrow?
その約束本当に守るんでしょうね？
もちろんさ。母さんこそ守ってよ。約束を破れば僕にはすぐにわかる。
At that time, there was suddenly a loud knock on the door to Natsuhi's room. Her heart leapt automatically.
奥様いらっしゃいますか
Kanon.
おはようございます。
ゴーダとカノンでございます。奥様どうかお目覚めよ。
The voice is coming from across the door were Kanon and Godas. The knock had been wild and the voices a little shrill. It seemed that something strange had happened and that they were agitated.
何？どうしたの？
何でもありません。使用人が来たようです。もう切りますよ。
うん。僕の言いたいことは全部伝えたからね。じゃあ約束破らないでよ。
わかりました。あなたこそ約束を破らないのですよ。
違うね。
Wait, what?
母さんがそれを決めるんだよ。
Oh my, it's not the Delta again, okay.
僕に約束破らせないでね。母さん。
今日一日母さんを見てるからね。
Lambda Delta slammed the receiver down on the antique phone. Then the phone exploded into bits and became a golden splash. Then a cloud of gold butterflies and then disappeared.
踊ってちょうだいね、夏日。19年前の罪に怯えながらね。私のターンも順調よ。さあ、ベルもどうぞ。
Burn Castle's turn now.
どうせ無駄なんだろうけど、警察通報を通じて内外の通信可否を確認。
I mean, of course, it's not possible.
外線は使用不能。
Yeah, it's impossible to make use of the external line.
内線は使えるみたい。台風で船も使用不能。クローズドサークルの出来上がりかしら。おめでとう。これでベルンが完全に探偵に昇格ね。
When the police intervene, they sometimes steal some of the detective's authority. However, with the construction of the closed circle, the existence of the police had been denied for all eternity. From now on, the authority of the detective police, or detective peace, will be totally guaranteed.
はいはい、ありがとう。ごちそうさま。それじゃあ、早速ゲーム開始といこうかしら。
Erica, you are the main character. Now begin.
源氏さんまでかよ。
Okay, so let's take a break here. So yeah, I think the only scene here that is kind of suspicious is maybe with the Genji-san scene, right? Maybe him dying, because the one who found him were Kumasawa, Kanon, and then Shannon and Goda, right? That's the suspicious one. The other ones probably happened, right? Who knows? And then Kraus get kidnapped. It's kind of hilarious, I'm not gonna lie. He got kidnapped? But let's see what happens though. Let's see what happens. Let's see how Erica works, right? This is gonna be it. This is gonna be the start of the investigations of Detective Erica Furudo. So we're gonna continue this and do more of Umineko When They Cry, episode 5 in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye-bye.